trying to, distract this suspicious cop that pulls them over in their crop duster van that they switch into. And it's in those moments where you go like, these guys have personality, and I like Matt Howe and everything like that, but he is engaged in a really cutthroat business that Siegel refuses to sanitize, I guess would be the word.
Yeah.
Like, it's like immediately he kills his wife.
Yeah, and there's this. To be honest, it felt like the moment that it happened, there was this. Like, you don't hear the conversation, but it felt like there was a conversation prior where they went, if something goes wrong and one of us can get away, we do what we have to do, because there's like this almost immediate acceptance of her, dying or being dead. And he does, he kisses her or kisses the body. I couldn't really tell which, if she was already dead.
But it's not like a shocked wail, like, oh my God, right, my wife. It's like I knew that this was a possibility when we got into this business.
Yeah, we accepted this. And it even feels like when the wife gets shot, she's not panicked or anything, as if she's accepted it too. So and also being the choice that Siegel takes, or the screenwriter takes, to throw you into the action right away, also gives this implication, whether it be true or not, that they've almost done this before, because it feels so calculated. And it just shows you really specifically, I guess, Walter's personality type, which is to like have this all together and planned. And honestly, even the way that, again, like, he's treating his wife seems kind of a little bit cutthroat in a way where it's like, this is just what needs to be done, I guess. And what's interesting too, and I love it both on like just narratively for the character, because it is interesting and very dark, but then also just as like a filmmaking technique here, when the cop does pull them over, and the big distraction for them to get away is the explosion that they set off like 30 minutes prior. And you can see it fucking, however many yards away in the background. And I think it's an authentic explosion. At least it looked like one. Mm-hmm. And it's just unbelievably timed, the way it's in the shot and the way that it's timed with the dialogue and everything like that. I was just like, this is on both levels. There's so much to unpack there.
Well, yeah. And I can't remember exactly what he says, but he almost has this response of like, thank you, Nadine. You were useful even in like your last, moment to us.
Yeah. And I guess like it's again, this is like a brutal thought, but I guess the way that he's viewing it now is also that was an act of love in this world, where it was like, now at least we have these thousands of dollars so that we can continue. And
that's just it. I think what it is, hopefully. And I think you've nailed it, is that it's the bleakness of the world is something that Siegel depicts with like the same like blunt force quality he's always had, that same toughness he's had in every single one of his movies. Mm-hmm. But it feels like the Walter Matthau character and the CHARLEY VARRICK character is the first time he's done like a character who kind of reflects his perspective on as like you're a worker in that world. And he does feel like he's like, I'm chill. I'm kind of laid back. This is almost like a bit of like a caper to me. I'm going to do my job and I'm going to be good at it. But, and the world fucking sucks and is violent and horrible. But the tone of the movie seems to just like reflect the perspective of the CHARLEY VARRICK character. Like that same pragmatism is like an ethos shared by both the filmmaker and this character. And as a result, that does feel like the movie has like a sense of patience to it. It almost plays like a bit of a crime caper at time, because he's just kind of, he's a little sad, but he's a little amused and he's a little excited. And he's a little bit of this kind of like, he's so calm. He's so cool. He's constantly chewing gum and making casual small talk, even after his wife is shot and killed. He doesn't even consider carrying around a gun. He just sticks to his plan, and he uses friendly, unassuming working class schlub looks almost as like a weapon. It's that's why I really like this character.
Yeah, it's strange, because the things that he goes through you'd think would be something that you would completely panic in, but his character does seem, I think even, and I'll have to look through the notes in the middle to see if I'm kind of incorrect here, but it seems like he's completely sure of himself the entire time. And even the moment that we get near the end, which I won't spoil or anything, but there's a moment where you think like, oh, he's finally been had. And that ends up being nope, that was part of my calculation too. So it is interesting that he has this like weariness about him, but it comes from I think, I guess, experience and the acceptance of how bleak this all is and what he has to do in order to do it. And yeah, he seems incredibly confident, very sure of himself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you get a real clear vision of that when you get his sort of an idea of his relationship with Harmon, who was the only other sort of survivor of his crew, because the one guy got shot in the bank, his wife obviously got shot on in the getaway driving. So he and Harmon take the goods back to his trailer. And obviously the the hot-headed sort of young kid is stoked that they pulled away with a lot more money than the bank should have possibly had on hand. But the radio says, like, the bank is only reporting $2,000 stolen, but they actually got away with $750,000. And he's stoked to spend it on girls and cars and clothes. He's like yelling about in his trailer. Well, Charlie, obviously more intelligent and more sort of practically minded, he assumes that they have stolen dirty money, mob money, which is far more dangerous than having stolen just, bank money or government money or whatever. Yeah. The gangsters are obviously a lot more ruthless in their quest to get it back and revenge kill those who steal from them, rather than just sort of a few sort of like G-men on their tail.
I love also that he mentions, he's like, this is how it would work too. It's like, yes, this is dirty money, but the way that it would work it's like they put it into the system so that they can reuse it, therefore it becomes clean money. And like that. So it's like, either way, someone is going to be using this, but he just knows that it's attached to people that are going to kill him. But I just love that they included that detail of like, it's attached to